Hello everyone, my name is Satyam Raha. In this video, let's talk about method overriding in Java. So, to demonstrate the concept, let's have two classes. Say I have a class A which has a method named show and which has something like in class A, and I have another class named B, but this class B extends class A. Okay, and now I obviously we know that this show method is inherited by default in class B, right? So if I make an object of class B, say B obj equal to new B, so I can access the show method, isn't it? It's totally fine. If I execute this, it works fine in class A, right? But see, this method call is actually the method call to the class A's method, because class B doesn't have a show method. Now suppose there is a requirement that I want to redefine the show method in class B according to my usage. Okay, in that case what I can do is I can use the concept of overriding. Okay, so say I want to have here maybe in class B. Okay, so if I execute this code, see, in class B is printed, right? Say the object is of class A, for example. Let's see, I have a object of class A now. So if I execute this, the output is in class A. So depending on the type of the object being called, the particular method will be called, right? So when I have an object of class B, the method which is corresponding to the B's version will be called. So here class B is called, isn't it? So this concept is nothing but the concept of method overriding, where we are overriding the default definition of the show method. Why? Because show method is by default inherited by class B. Okay, now when I am redefining it, that means I need to override it. So it gets overridden when we redefine it, and if we do not have this, so the inherited version will be used. Okay, so this is the only difference when it comes to overriding and overloading. Do not get confused, because in overloading we have the same names of the method in the same class. Understand this. So in the same class, when we have two methods, or in the same scope when we have two methods with the same name, that that methods should be differentiated by the compiler using the signatures, right? But here you see they are in different scopes, isn't it? This void show in class A, and this void show is in class B. But since this show method of class A is actually inherited by class B, so what we are doing is we are actually overriding it. Now what will happen whenever I am creating the object of B? Now the compiler, sorry, here not the compiler, this is not resolved at compile time. Okay, unlike method overloading is resolved at compilation time by the compiler, but this overriding is an example of runtime polymorphism, that is, which method to call is actually resolved by the JVM at runtime. Okay, this is done at the runtime. So depending on the object of type of the object, that corresponding method will be called. Okay, depending on the type of the object. Here I am calling object of B, where I am creating object of B, that is why the version of B will be called. Here I can also use the reference of A, that's not an error. Okay, reference of superclass can be used. This a or b, this is a reference, right? This can be anything, this can be anything as long as this is a superclass variable, the superclass name, right? So it can be class a, it can be class b, it works fine. If I run this code, still it is in class b, it doesn't change. What actually decides which method should be called at runtime? The type of the method, sorry, the type of the class or the type of the object which is created. Here b is created. Say if a type object was created, the a's version of the method would have been called. Okay, so you must understand the difference between overloading and overriding. Overloading is a concept where we use the compile time polymorphism, but in overriding, since the method calling is resolved at runtime depending on the type of the object, this is called runtime polymorphism. Okay, so I hope you understood. Thank you for watching.